Congresswoman, you just spoke here at the People's Summit, and I think it's really interesting because the media is really focused a lot on the danger of Donald Trump with very little focus on Secretary Clinton's record. You're a veteran. Obviously, you've supported Senator Sanders. Do you think that, yeah, we know about Iraq, but what you're seeing right now in what she's pushing, particularly with Syria, do you think that's getting enough spotlight? And what is the dangers of continuing this?
You know, one of the main reasons why I resigned as vice chair of the DNC, why I endorsed Senator Bernie Sanders, was centered around the lack of attention and focus on these extremely important issues having to do with the cost of war and the continuance and even escalation of these counterproductive interventionist regime change wars. This is an issue that I and others are working on pushing in Congress, that we are urging the President to take action on, and that we will continue to work on and fight on to end these regime change wars, specifically now the current counterproductive regime change war occurring in Syria, because there is so much at stake.
And you look at what just the tragedy in Orlando, yes, Mateen pledged to ISIS, but he was not orchestrating with ISIS, yet the response from Secretary Clinton was we need to continue the air campaign and more aggression. Where's the disconnect? Because these are homegrown terrorists, a lot of them not orchestrated with ISIS.
Yeah. Well, there's a few issues. The threat coming from groups like ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, and others is real, and they are causing tremendous human suffering through a variety of different kinds of attacks. But people are focusing too much on individual organized groups when you do have other threats that are homegrown, where people are being attracted to and following that exact same extremist ideology that ISIS is trying to spread. So there are actions that we need to be taking here at home to be able to try to identify that and to try to do our best to prevent these kinds of attacks, as we saw in Orlando, as we saw in San Bernardino, and in Paris and in other places on 9/11, to make sure that they don't happen again.
I wanted to ask you about the DNC. Obviously, you kind of rose up the most recent months for kind of bravery and dropping your position. Recent days, they're not denying. There's memos showing coordination between them and Secretary Clinton dating back a year ago, that they were going to try to spin reporters, all these things. For a body that's supposed to be neutral, is this just something that everybody should turn a blind eye to? And we already knew it, that they were kind of in the tank for her. To me, it seems troubling because it begs more questions if you were already planning strategy documents to help a candidate when you're not supposed to be helping any candidate.
Look, you see and hear reports of things like this in the public, and people scratch their heads and wonder, why are people so disenchanted with politics? Why do they feel so disenfranchised? It's really because that feeling that they are not best represented by their political parties, and I would say the Republicans are facing similar challenges, and this is what I feel is most important, what I hope our Democratic Party continues to strive for and make progress on, beginning with getting rid of the superdelegate process, in calling for more open primaries, to make this a much more inclusive process where we're actually investing and engaging with people, bringing them in, hearing diverse ideas, and having that bigger, big tent welcoming party.
Do you see that happening if the influence of money stays where it is now?
Campaign finance reform is a critical issue. The voice of people is more powerful than money, and that's where I see opportunity for people to be able to stand up and make their voices heard, to be able to try to affect this kind of change. Already we're seeing in different local and state parties people running for different positions in those parties to try to bring some of these issues, to try to bring some of these changes. Hawaii is one example of that. And I think that's one way that some of this change is starting to already occur.
And last question, do you think you went around with Senator Sanders, obviously you saw the movement that grew. What do you kind of think in terms of, if this is a pivot point, what do you think he accomplished? What do you think he created?
The beautiful thing that I saw in my home state of Hawaii and in states across the country is just how many people are really excited about being a part of making positive change, who feel empowered, who feel like their voice matters in this democracy. And there are so many different ways that people will continue to find opportunities to get involved, to find ways for their voice to be heard, to work towards that positive change. And that's a really powerful thing. And that's really what we need to support and to try to continue to grow.
And I know Cenk wants to interview you, so that's my pitch. Next time,
for the phone?
next time you're in LA, get on with the Young Turks. Thank you.
All right, look forward to it. Thanks.
Okay.
Aloha.
Thanks so much.